What is going on, people? TripleM back again with another video. It's daily dose of football content, and today I would like to talk about Manchester United beating Sheriff 2-0 away from home. But before I do, I've obviously got to address the elephant in the room, right? This is new surroundings, of course, and thanks to City Power, Eskom, and the South African government, I am in different surroundings today. So this is the hand that I was dealt, and I'm just going to play it. You know, it is what it is. So obviously, Manchester United beating Sheriff away from home is not the greatest of results. It's not something that we should celebrate religiously over the next 10 years, but it is a good result. And it's funny how the double standards of rivals have come to life today, because before we beat Sheriff, Sheriff was the team that beat Real Madrid, and Sheriff was the team that Manchester United fans were underestimating. After we beat Sheriff, suddenly it doesn't matter. It's just the Europa League. It's an irrelevant team. It's funny how rivals continue to shift the goalposts to try banter Manchester United. It's really hilarious. But anyways, the game itself was pretty good, and I think the only negative I can think of really was our midfield in the first half. Apart from that, there wasn't really many. You could also poke holes at Ronaldo's performance, but to be honest, I don't feel like doing that tonight. So let's start with the positives. I thought our defense was really solid. I thought De Gea in moments looked very nervous, but overall had a decent performance because he just didn't have much to do. And I thought, you know, looking at that game, I'm really happy that our games got postponed, because in hindsight, I don't think we win that game and cruise to a 2-0 win with a weaker team. I genuinely don't believe we do. I think that performance came down to the fact that we just had better quality on the pitch. And yes, we did play well. Yes, there was a lot of intricate play between Sancho, Antony, Ronaldo, and even Eriksen at times. But on the balance of it, it wasn't as great as we were expecting. Let's be honest. And maybe that was a bit of gamesmanship by Manchester United. Maybe Manchester United recognized that they had the game already won, and they just went back into the second gear and kept it simple for the last 20 minutes. I don't know. But the truth is, it wasn't a great performance. It was just a good performance. Now, in terms of individual players, I thought that the best player on the pitch for me, again, in the first half specifically, was Christian Eriksen. And the reason why I think that is because he is so important in that engine room. He was the only midfielder who I felt like was actually doing something. I don't think Bruno was that active in the first half, and I think Scott McTominay really struggled. We saw the old version of Scott McTominay, and this is why I said in my previous video that, you know, Scott McTominay's recent performances, his good performance against Arsenal and the performance before that against Leicester City and Southampton, they're not truly reflective of how good Scott McTominay actually is. It just isn't, because tonight we saw the levels that Scott McTominay usually consistently brings at Manchester United. And by the way, this is against a Sheriff team away from home in the Europa League, mind you. This isn't even Premier League opposition, and he struggled tonight. Again, going hiding, not collecting the ball off the back four, not doing the things that he's meant to be doing in that particular midfield, because we all know Bruno and Eriksen are the ones who handle and juggle the offensive responsibilities. So common sense says that Scott McTominay is the one who's supposed to play the deep role. Scott McTominay is the one who's supposed to shield the back four, and Scott McTominay is the one who's supposed to collect the ball off the back four, or at the very least give an extra passing option to Martinez and Varane when things are a bit stale and things aren't really working out wide. You got to give them that option down the middle and just create a bit of a more dynamic plan. He just wasn't able to do that. So when Casemiro came on, we saw something different. We saw a more calm, poised midfield. We saw a midfield that was able to keep the ball and string a few passes along, get players out of position, create space in behind, and then create more threats subsequently because of that. And I think Casemiro, this was probably his best performance of the lot, which is crazy, right? 5 times Champions League winner, and his best performance is against Sheriff. But at the end of the day, he's barely started any games for Manchester United. In fact, I don't think he started any games for Manchester United so far. So Casemiro, he started the game against Real Sociedad actually. So he started one game, right? So you can't really blame Casemiro. He's only been able to come on for 10 minutes at the end of the game, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. But tonight, he actually came on for a full 45 minutes, and we saw the difference between someone like Casemiro and someone like Scott McTominay. At least that's just my opinion. Again, in terms of Bruno Fernandes, I thought he had quite a quiet game. Not really much to say. I don't think he was terrible. I don't think he made any glaring mistakes, but I don't think he did enough to impact the game. And maybe this is just me, you know, kind of being bored on a Thursday night away from home, right? Maybe this is me just switching off while I was on the couch, but honestly, I didn't see anything special about Bruno's game today. So it is what it is. And those of you who know, Bruno is one of my favorite players at the club. So again, I say this almost every week, but it would be easy for me to sit here and say, oh, I thought Bruno had a good game, but I just don't think he had a great game. Anyways, Jadon Sancho, let's talk about him, because that goal, that composure, that finish, cooler than an ice cube's piss. I really think that Jadon Sancho is one of the most underrated players in the league and one of the most underrated wingers in world football at the moment, because the subtle nuances to his game go unnoticed, especially by rival fans, because all they want to do is banter. All they want to do is highlight the mistakes. So I expect that from rivals. But there's Manchester United fans who genuinely still don't believe that Jadon Sancho can play out wide for Manchester United on a weekly basis. And tonight he proved again that this whole argument about him, where should he play? Should he play on the left? Should he play on the right? It doesn't matter because Jadon Sancho can cook on either side as long as there's a balanced attack and a clear plan and people around him who are on the same wavelength, right? Having Eriksen behind him, Malacia overlapping, next to him, it showed today that he is a really good player. All he needs is good players around him. And again, you see him come to life. I call it the Donny van de Beek syndrome, right? Like when you don't have players who are on your wavelength, you struggle because you just don't fit into the team. You need players who are intelligent around you, and you need players who understand the way you play and you understand the way they play, and you guys can feed off of each other because football is a team game at the end of the day. Next attacker, let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, because I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo was that good tonight. And honestly, do I think it was his fault? Not really in the sense that I don't think we created nearly as many chances as we did against Real Sociedad. But at the same time, he's got to take a bit of personal responsibility for some of his performances, right? You can't just keep blaming the rest of the team or the system. At some point, you've got to do something. Again, tonight, I saw Ronaldo drop deep a couple of times, but it didn't lead to anything. He comes deep, he plays a 5-yard pass, and then it doesn't really lead to anything. And I've been saying this for a while. The whole point of a striker dropping deep, you're either doing one of two things. One, you're drawing defenders out of position to create spaces for your inside forwards to run in behind. Or two, you're coming deep and you're playing 1-2s. You're bringing other people into play who previously weren't able to get a hold of the ball. Right? It's one of those two things. I mean, I'm sure there's more that, some more intelligent football fans than me can spot. But that is the basics, the fundamentals that you're supposed to be doing as a player who prides themselves on hold up. Like if you're not scoring and obviously you're not getting that many chances, then you've got to do the hold up thing and you've got to get involved deeper in the pitch. I don't think Ronaldo does that very well. So it is what it is. But apart from that, I've got nothing else to say really on the game. Oh, I thought Antony was good, by the way. Let me just talk a little bit about Antony. I thought Antony was good with the little service that he got today. I think there were moments, again, which is normal for any team in the world, not just Manchester United, but there was moments where we weren't able to get the ball out wide to him, and it was just one of those evenings where you kind of have to make the most with the few chances that you get. And when he did get the ball, he looked sharp. His passes were very crisp, and he just looks like he's on the same wavelength as Sancho, as Ronaldo, as Eriksen. So I think Antony is a fantastic player, and I think he will fit in at Old Trafford perfectly. It's just a matter of when he kicks in and he goes into the gears and he starts going at players and we start to see the Eredivisie version of Antony. It's a matter of when, not if, in my personal opinion. Apart from that, got nothing else to say about the game. Erik ten Hag, 10 out of 10. He played a strong team. There's no need to rest players when your next game is in October, thanks to, certain events in England happening and a lack of policing. So it is what it is. Erik ten Hag has played the situation that's in front of him perfectly. I think most of the fan base would have been very upset if we played a strong team against Sheriff tonight, asking themselves the question, why are we playing a weaker team? We could play a strong team, make sure we secure the result, especially after what happened against Real Sociedad, right? Like, we could not afford to lose to Sheriff tonight. And I'm not joking to you guys. I'm not trolling. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being negative. I'm just saying, if we didn't play a strong team tonight, I think Sheriff get a result, because they were up for it. I thought Sheriff started well. I thought Sheriff were really physical. I thought Sheriff made it really hard for us to penetrate in between the lines in that first half. I think after they conceded, then the momentum started to shift. And once we got the second goal, especially because it came off a penalty, you could kind of see their heads dropping, and you could kind of see them, just kind of coming to the acceptance that they're just not going to win, right? Because the quality of opposition is just too good, and they already put themselves on the back foot by conceding 2 goals. I think if it was 0-0 for a little bit longer, you might have seen Sheriff try to do something. You might have seen some subs, something crazy from their manager, but it didn't happen. If buts and maybes don't really count. And anyways, it's been your boy TripleM. Leave a like on the video, comment, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. I promise the content is usually better quality than this in terms of, the lighting and the visuals. But anyways, it's been your boy TripleM. Peace.